So here we have a question. It says, a study of speeding along the I-24 in Chattanooga is conducted. A sample of 90 speeding tickets from the last year is randomly selected, and the average speed was found to be 67 miles per hour. A previous study suggests that the standard deviation in speed for all speeders is 4.3 miles per hour. Estimate the average speed for all speeders along the I-24 in the last year using the 99% confidence level. So we're trying to estimate the mean or the average speed for all speeders. So we're trying to estimate the population mean. Let me get my pen here. Estimate population mean. So that's the average for all speeders in Chattanooga in the past year. Mu. Now, we're going to use a Z confidence interval for that. Z confidence interval. Why? Well, if you read carefully, it talks about the standard deviation in speed. That's for all speeders. That's for the population of all speeders in Chattanooga. So that is known. Sigma is known from a previous study, right? A previous study gave us a good estimate for the population standard deviation. It said 4.3 miles per hour. So since we know the population standard deviation, since it's assumed to be known anyway, we're going to use a Z confidence interval. So let's do that. Let's scroll down a bit. And let's write down our Z confidence interval formula, which is, right, population mean is bounded above by what? X bar plus Z alpha over 2 times sigma divided by the square root of n, and bounded below by X bar, this time minus Z alpha over 2 times sigma divided by the square root of n. So we just need to find what X bar is, n is. We know what sigma is, and we got to find Z alpha over 2. So let's go back and read our problem, and let's pick out these bits of information. So what are we talking about? So we already got the sigma is 4.3. That's the population standard deviation. Reading the problem carefully. Look at the sample. A sample of 90 speeding tickets. That's the size of the sample size. So n is the sample size. That's 90 speeding tickets. So we have the sample size is 90. If you look at the average of the sample, what was the average of those 90 speeders? The average speed of the sample of 90 speeders was 67 miles per hour. So X bar, that's the sample average, is 67. So the one thing we still need, we need the Z alpha over 2. This is going to be our critical number. So since we're talking about a confidence level of 99%, confidence, a 99% confidence corresponds to a critical number, a critical value, or a Z alpha over 2 of 2.575. So I'm going to take these four numbers. I'm going to take the n, the X bar, the Z alpha over 2, and the sigma. I'm going to plug them into my Z confidence interval formula. So let's do that. So I got mu stays in the center. And I'll start with X bar here on the right. I'm going to have, what, 67 plus Z alpha over 2, 2.575. Multiplied by the following, 4.3 over the square root of 90. And we'll almost write the same thing on the left side, except we're going to have a minus, right? We have 67, but this time minus 2.575 times 4.3 over the square root of 90. So what I have to do, I have to compute this dude in the box here. which is the same as this dude in the box here. So you want to compute that. Let's write down our mu. Let's write down our 67 plus. Write down our 67 minus. So let's figure out what this box is. So where is my calculator? It's right here in my hands. I'm going to take 2.575 times 4.3 and divide by square root of 90. Square root of 90. 2.575 times 4.3 divided by the square root of 90. So we're talking about 1.17. I'm taking it to two decimal places. So it's going to be on the other side as well, 1.17, right? That's the number in the box. When you take 2.575, multiply by 4.3, and divide by the square root of 90. So let's scroll down a little. So we actually have two things to calculate now. We have to take 67 plus 1.17 and 67 minus 1.17 and see what we get. Mu is in between. So on the right, we're going to have 67 plus 1.17 is going to be 68.17. And on the right, if we take 67 minus 1.17, that's going to give us a 65.83. So this is actually the confidence interval for the average speed of all speeders on the I-24 in Chattanooga for the last year. So let's go ahead and write a conclusion at this time. And we're going to say the following. We are, how much confident? 99%, right? 99% confident. That was our confidence level. That got us our Z alpha over 2. So we are 99% confident that the average speed for speeders on the I-24 in Chattanooga this past year was between 65.83 and 68.17 miles per hour. That gives us a lower bound estimate and an upper bound estimate for the average speed for all speeders with a 99% confidence.